Hi guys, another video. This video is on Dereck Chisora. Does he still have the chin? And when I say that, I'm talking about does he still have the hunger, the war left to challenge at top level? You know, I've spoken to this and had a couple of conversations with some of my mates, and it's interesting because Dereck Chisora is the kind of guy, he can come back from losses. You know, he can put in good performances. We've seen that when he lost against Vitali, maybe when he lost against Tyson Fury the first time, when he lost against the second time. He puts in tough performances, but Dereck Chisora's at a stage in his career where he's changed his mindset. He's a much more relaxed fighter now, I suppose. You know, he said he's giving himself to God. I think he's a little bit more composed, and he's relaxed a bit more. He's not as erratic as he once was. You know, I was talking to somebody and they were saying, does the erraticness help him in the ring? And I say it does. I say it does because it brings the best out of Dereck Chisora. I'm going to do another video on the Don Charles loss, which I think is a major key in what happens with Dereck Chisora progressing. You know, I think his style is going to be affected because Don Charles is gone. We saw that in the Cabiel fight and other fights that Don Charles wasn't there. Yeah, so, you know, again, he just came off I don't really look at the Gashi fight because I feel like that's just him recovering and getting himself back in the ring and warming up. You know, I thought that was a poor performance from him and Gashi. I didn't even review that fight because I thought it was such a terrible fight. I thought Chisora looked uneasy, uncomfortable, and not relaxed at all. You look at the Gashi fight and you look at the Dillian Whyte fight, second one, it's like a different person. You know, the way Chisora was throwing his shots, and different person completely. And that knockout blow from Dillian Whyte might have stopped and finished Dereck Chisora, because you got to understand, before Dereck Chisora lost to Dillian Whyte the second time, he had only been stopped once, and that was by David Haye. You know, he got up from both the knockdowns, and we know David Haye was very fit in that fight, very fit. You know, that was one of his best heavyweight fights, I think, as a heavyweight, you know, because he was fit, and when David's fit, he's got power. So one thing David has, he's got power. So he hurt Chisora. And Chisora's got a very good chin. You know, David hit him with a lot of big shots. Vitali hit him with shots. Fury out. You know, Fury's not necessarily a puncher, but he hit him with a lot of big shots. And Helenius, and Chisora didn't ever go down. You know, he's always had a good chin. He's always able to take in a punch, and he's always come forward. It's not like he rides the punches and moves away and he's dodging and ducking. Yeah, he used to bob and weave back in the day, but he usually comes forward and sucks it up as well. So he's a real warhorse, you know. So my question really is the chin still there? Can he go deep in that war? I know he's been saying in all his interviews, war, but with this new style of Dave Caldwell, is it a war or is it trying to box? Because Dereck Chisora's never really been a boxer. That's one thing I've said. He's never really been a traditional boxer. You know, he's got a decent jab. You know, I've always said he's got a very good left hook. Not as good as Dillian Whyte's before people start jumping, but he's got a good left hook. It's quite sneaky. You know, one thing I can say, which is a positive, is the new fitness. You know, whatever happens, he's gonna be fit, or fitter than he used to be anyway. He's gonna come in fit for himself. You know, I don't know if that's 240. I like to see him 235, but again, one of the reasons that makes him good at taking the punch is that he's quite a big blob of, big boned, big blob of a man. So he takes and eats the punches quite well. You know, I was concerned when I watched the Takum fight. I thought to myself, how much is that going to take out of him? You know, sometimes when these guys go into wars, it takes their punch resistance away from them. You know, I said this about the first David Haye fight with Tony Bellew. I said Haye took a lot of good punches, clean on the jaw, clean. You know, I do think Tony Bellew was a little bit emotional and a little bit taken back about the injury. But either way, he got hit with a lot of clean shots, and he stuck in there. And I thought to myself, I don't think David Haye's body's going to live up to this again, because when you take beatings like that and you get hit with shots, depending on your physical stature, it can push you down and make you more prone to getting hurt. And as we saw that in the second fight, that Haye's punch resistance went completely. You know, he was getting hit. You know, he was down many times. I think it was by the third he was down, and stopped in the fifth, sixth. So what happened to Chisora? Well, I watched Attack and Fire and I thought to myself, this guy's taking nicks. You know, it was one of the best heavyweight fights I've ever seen, but I was worried about his health because, you know, he was getting hit, you know, bashed up. But it seems that it didn't affect him that bad because he came into the... Well, interesting enough, I can't say that because in the first round of the Dillian Whyte fight too, he got wobbled with a straight right hand to the jaw. And for me, I thought to myself, wow, you know, that's a bit... I've never seen Chisora get hurt that early since maybe the Helenius fight, or maybe... You know, he doesn't... He just looked visibly shaken. Went back to the ropes, didn't go for him. And he recovered. And then after that, he took a lot of good shots. Well, he didn't really get wobbled after that at all, really, up until he got knocked out cold. But that can affect you mentally and physically. In the Gashi fight, Gashi didn't hit him with anything really sound for me to say his punch resistance has gone completely. But we will see in this Arthur Spilker fight, which I'm going to do another video on my prediction, how both win. We will see in this Spilker fight, Spilker will come to fight. Spilker will come to fight because this is his last saloon on a big-ish level, to be honest, for Spilker. But Dereck Chisora's gonna have to come. He's gonna have to, think his way in. I expect him to be a little bit more mindful in his defense since getting knocked out cold by Dillian Whyte. I'm just expecting that as a human being, naturally, you're gonna always be cautious. You know, no one likes to get knocked out. You know. I remember one of the things that made Dereck Chisora such a good person at coming back from losses is because he would never get knocked out. So that would give him a bit of a deeper, yes, I'm okay. Because Dereck Chisora is one of them kind of guys, he's very prideful, and it's a little bit young when people think like this, but if you don't get knocked out, you've still won. And a lot of people do this, and sometimes people go the distance just so they don't get knocked out, and can say, you know, even against Pulev, Maccabiao, Fury, Helenius, Whyte the first time, he didn't get knocked out. So you can always think back and think, he didn't knock me out. I can take his power, so I can come back better. So that's always been Chisora's thing. When he lost to David Haye, he actually fought a couple of journeymen to warm himself back in, and just eradicate that out of his mind. But I don't know. I'd like to see Chisora to be a bit more self-minded. We're gonna see does he still have that granite jaw? Can he still take a few hit nicks to the chin in his next couple of fights? You know, Spilker's not really a big puncher, so getting wobbled, getting dropped by Spilker would really, really push his resistance down, I suppose, because Spilker is not a big puncher. That's one thing I can say about Spilker, he ain't got power. So this should be an interesting fight. The only, you know, I'm gonna do a video on that fight later, but this video was just to make sure that, you know, does Chisora have the chin? What do you guys think? Do you think he can bounce back? And if he can challenge again, you know, I still think, you know, I'd still pay to watch a third in a Whyte fight. You know, people will say to me, why would you want to watch that? But that's going to be a war. That's still going to be a war. You know, anytime them guys fight. And that's one person that can get Dereck at his best, which I've always said is great. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if Dereck is still war Chisora, or is he going to be a bit more box safety. Like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm out.